donated to, I split it between the ACLU and the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles, end quote. Right?
That's correct. I made that statement as soon as I got a divorce and we reached the settlement. That's when I pledged it, right then.
And you say this because you, quote, wanted nothing, end quote.
That is correct.
I'm about to end this man's whole career.
But you hadn't donated your entire $7 million settlement to charity at that point, had you?
That's incorrect.
Sitting here today, Ms. Heard, you still haven't donated the $7 million divorce settlement to charity. Isn't that right?
Now I'm panicking.
It's what she deserves.
Incorrect. I pledged the entirety of the settlement, $7 million to charity, and I intend to fulfill those obligations.
Ms. Heard, that's not my question.
I am shook.
Please,
what was
try
your
to answer
question?
my question. Sitting here today, you have not donated the $7 million donated, not pledged,
Donated.
the $7 million divorce settlement to charity.
I use pledge and donation synonymous.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
With one another.
But I don't. Ms. Heard, I don't use it synonymously.
That's how donations are paid.
Ms. Heard, respectfully, that's not my question. Photograph, right, Ms. Heard?
That's correct.
You took this picture as well.
Yes.
You also took this picture, right, Ms. Heard?
That's correct. I did.
You seem to really like taking pictures of Mr. Depp while he's sleeping, don't you?
I hated it. I hated it.
Okay.
You took this picture of Mr. Depp as well, didn't you?
I did.
You sent this picture to one of your friends, didn't you?
I don't recall.
If we could please pull up Defendant's Exhibit 252.
Yes, I was asking for support.
There's no question yet, Ms. Heard. You wrote, quote, "This is what I've been dealing with," end quote. This is you supporting Mr. Depp.
This is me getting support from my best friend. I also need support.
You weren't afraid the monster would get upset that you took this picture? You testified that at the beginning portion of the video where you set up the camera, that wasn't included in the video that TMC received.
I don't know what video TMC
I'm talking about Mr. Tremaine's testimony, Ms. Heard. Let's just
You're
focus on
asking me
Mr.
to
Tremaine.
repeat his testimony?
No, I'm asking you if you recall hearing him say those words to this jury.
Yes,
Under oath.
I heard his testimony. We all did.
And he testified at the end of the video where you can be seen smirking. I know you testified earlier that you haven't been smirking in this trial, but you sure were caught on camera smirking in that video.
I disagree with that.
Was also not included in the TMZ video.
Everyone can watch that video and you can determine whether you think it's funny to me or not.
But imagine how tired we are.
That's because the video came from you, right, Ms. Heard?
Oh, shit!
No, it did not.
You
That
edited
video
out
did
the
not
portions.
come to me. No, I
Ms.
mean,
Heard,
come from me.
Ms. Heard, you edited out the portions that made you look bad before sending it to TMC.
You are very wrong about that.
So that
if I
only
wanted to
Mr.
leak
Depp
information, I
looked
could have
bad.
done it in a more effective way.
Wait a minute.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
A lot sooner and a lot more.
Because you
I
knew
was
exactly
living
how to
with
do
a
that,
mountain
right?
of this evidence. If I wanted to leak it, I could have done a lot more with it.
You stupid.
I thought you testified earlier in this trial that you didn't know how to leak things.
I don't.
Right. This is a situation where you were trying to get Mr. Depp to pay attention to you. Isn't that right?
No, I was trying to stop him from using.
And because he ran away from you at the first sign of trouble, you call him a monster,
I was
right?
trying to stop him from turning into the monster. The drugs are the key that opened the door.
Who was the real monster in this relationship, Ms. Heard?
Listen, Johnny, it's half of Johnny. It's not all of Johnny. The other half of him is wonderful and beautiful and the man I love.
As of today, you have not paid $3.5 million of your own money to the ACLU.
Yes or no?
I have not yet.
And as of today, you have not paid $3.5 million of your own money to the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles, correct?
I have not yet.
Johnny sued me.
How many do I give? 0.
So as of today, you have not paid $7 million of your divorce settlement to charity, right?
I have not been able to fulfill those obligations yet.
I am dead inside.
Is there something amusing about kicking a door into your husband's head? You even roll your eyes at one point. Is there something amusing to you about punching your husband in the jaw?
That is not what I was smiling about, and no, I do not think it's amusing.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I never even addressed it. He was just very dramatic.
Aquaman!
Mr. Depp got you that role in Aquaman, didn't he?
Excuse me?
Mr. Depp got you that role in Aquaman, didn't he?
No, Miss Vasquez, I got myself that role by auditioning.
picture of an alleged bruise on the right side of your face. Do you remember him saying that?
I remember him saying that.
That information must have come from your team, right, Ms. Heard?
Absolutely not.
Why would I want that? What actual survivor of domestic violence wants that?
Wait a damn minute.
Actual survivor.
He fucked up.
I want to go home.
You may have noticed that no one showed up for Ms. Heard in this courtroom other than her sister. Every other witness who traveled to Virginia for her was a paid expert. This is a woman who burns bridges. Her close friends don't show up for her.
They ask you how you are, and you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it.
And that this could only have been possible if the video was received directly from the source. Yes?
I heard him say that. I don't know if that's true or if that's possible. Because it's flying.
Why the fuck you lying?
So I know that's incorrect, is what I mean to say.
Another liar on the stand.
I just know that that's incorrect.
Right.
Are you not ashamed of yourself?
I was trying to reach him so that he finds out about the divorce filing from some other source other than TMZ, which was alerted.
You slipped up there, didn't you, Ms. Heard? You let it slip out that TMZ had been alerted to your filing of the domestic violence restraining order, didn't you?
I disagree. That's not what I'm talking about.
So TMZ was just lucky in getting the inside scoop to your divorce from Mr. Depp, huh?
I have no idea. That's not my area of expertise. I wouldn't even know how to do that. If I wanted to leak things about Johnny, I could have done that in a much more successful way, in a bigger way, for years.
Not when you were extorting him for $7 million.
I got a fraction of what I was entitled to in the state of California, by the way. Right. What extortion?
Ms. Heard, I'm talking about your actions.
What?
This is what you would do to Mr. Depp when he would leave you. You would harangue him.
I would try to.
Isn't that correct? You would harangue him.
Your Honor, at least let her answer the question. Don't interrupt you.
That's fine. Go ahead and answer the question.
I do not think I would characterize my behavior that way. I was trying to stop him from using.
You were texting him incessantly. Isn't that correct, Ms. Heard?
It was imperative for my life.
Ms. Heard,
it was very important.
my question is
to me.
much more simple. You were texting him incessantly.
I would
yes
try
or no
everything to
Ms.
get a hold of him and
so
to stop the cycle.
That's a yes, right?
I would try everything to stop the cycle. It was that important to me.
And he's the monster for not responding to you.
That's not what made him the monster.
For needing space from you.
The monster was not the guy who needed space. The monster was who he was when he came back.
Not for doing drugs, Ms. Heard. Not for being violent. Just for needing space. That's when you called Mr. Depp the monster.
Incorrect. Sorry, let me clarify. I was testifying that I know that that's what Officer Science said, that she didn't consider my red puffy face injured. That's what she said.
The red puffy face, that was your counsel's question, correct?
That was her testimony in the UK.
That's incorrect, and you know that, Ms. Heard.
I don't feel so good.
I disagree.
It's just inconvenient for you that Officer Science didn't see injuries on you on May 21, 2016.
It doesn't matter what's convenient for me.
Right.
I will not see my eyes again.
You know exactly why Mr. Depp won't look back at you, don't you?
I do.
He promised you would never see his eyes again after you had publicly accused him of domestic violence, after you had obtained the domestic violence restraining order against him.
That's correct.
Ms. Vasquez played a tape in which Mr. Depp said, "You will not see my eyes again." Do you recall that?
I do.
Tell the jury why.
Because he's guilty. He knows he's lying.
Otherwise, why can't he look at me? I survived.
I survived that man, and I'm here, and I'm able to look at him. Thank you.
See what the jury and judge think. Tell the world, Johnny, Johnny Depp, man, I'm a victim too of domestic violence, and it's a fair fight. And see how many people believe or side with you.
That's your voice on that recording, right?
Yes, it is. I was saying it to the man who beat me up, yes.
The man you beat up numerous times. Right, Ms. Heard?
I could never hurt Johnny.
And I swung at him.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I actually had no idea whether they were going to be there or not. When I walked into the courtroom that day, it was completely quiet, still, empty. Even though I had given Johnny's team notice that I was filing the
Objection,
TRO,
Your Honor, this is not
we had
responsive.
no reason to
Move
believe
to
that the
strike.
press knew.
And Your Honor, I would also ask that you instruct the witness to please stop talking once I lodge an objection.
Your Honor, she's trying to answer the question as best she can, and Ms. Vasquez is misrepresenting to her what she testified to.
Well, I will strike the last part as non-responsive. Just if you could just answer the questions asked. Okay, thank you, Ms. Heard.
What are you?
An idiot sandwich.
Ms. Heard will not admit that she has ever done anything wrong. But she cannot deny what you heard on those recordings. As much as Ms. Heard and her lawyers have tried to make this case about Mr. Depp's language, it is Ms. Heard that repeatedly admits to violence.
I don't know what to tell you.
Shut up, bitch!
Yeah, and Mr. Romero testified that he didn't see any swelling or bruises on your face when you were talking to him at the front desk.
He wouldn't have.
No, he wouldn't have, even though he had a habit, because his parents taught him correctly, to look into someone's eyes when speaking to them. Isn't that correct?
I know that's what he testified to, yes.
You're done. You're done.
Those locks were to the penthouses at the Eastern Columbia building, isn't that correct?
That's correct.
But you changed the locks to the penthouses on May 22nd, 2016.
I attempted to.
I'm about to kill it.
That's why you felt comfortable having James Franco over the evening of May 22nd, 2016, Ms. Heard?
Spill the tea, sis.
I do not know when James came over.
Okay, let's remind you. Can we please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 304, which is already in evidence, and play from 254 through 439? And that's because you did want something.
Didn't you?
I didn't want anything and I didn't get anything.
You wanted Mr. Depp's money.
Didn't get it, wasn't interested in it. I loved Johnny, that's why I was with him.
You wanted praise for donating the money, right?
That's incorrect.
You wanted good press.
In general, one does want good press, yes.
You wanted to seem altruistic publicly.
Wasn't my interest. My interest is in my name and clearing my name. And at the time, I was being called a liar and my motives were being questioned. I did see it as important to clear that up. I wanted to make a statement to make sure that there was not any doubt.
You don't have any pictures of Mr. Depp actually consuming cocaine, do you?
I don't think I have a picture of him mid-snort. No.
I think you're stupid.
You don't even have any pictures of Mr. Depp with cocaine.
What do you mean by that?
Holding cocaine, standing next to cocaine, sitting next to cocaine.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Well, you haven't shown any of those pictures like that to the jury, have you?
I don't know. No, I haven't.
And you were never able to catch Mr. Depp with cocaine on film either, were you?
I've never tried.
Okay.
But you were able to catch him sleeping.
Even when you feel low, you can.
I have seen him pass out in all sorts of places, yes.
What did Ms. Heard capture of this supposed rampage? Mr. Depp moaning in distress?
Yes, I did that.
That's what she chose to record. What sort of person records something like that? What sort of person takes pictures of their husband or boyfriend or fiance who's struggling with sobriety, nodding off with ice cream dripping down his leg, his hand in his pocket, or asleep on the ground? What sort of person does that?
I did it.
Definitely not someone that's afraid of him. Mr. Depp wears rings on every finger, doesn't he, Ms. Heard?
That's my experience, yes.
And they're not delicate rings, are they?
No, they are not.
Heard, so he hit you with rings on every finger?
I don't know if I've ever known Johnny to not wear rings.
Yeah.
He hit you in the face so many times that you don't remember. There's no injuries to your face in this picture, are there?
Not that this picture shows.
You don't have any visible injuries to your face, do you?
None that you can see.
Even though Mr. Depp whacked you in the face so hard that your nose bled?
He did.
While wearing chunky big rings, right?
That's correct.
This is a picture of you and Mr. Depp the night after Mr. Depp allegedly whacked you in the face so hard you thought he had broken your nose.
He did whack me in the face, and I did think it broke my nose.
Your nose doesn't appear to be injured in any of these pictures, does it, Ms. Heard?
That's why I'm wearing makeup.
And makeup covers up swelling, right?
Makeup will not cover up swelling. I swell, though.
Ice will cover up swelling?
Ice reduces swelling. Normally the swelling after that kind of injury is not as bad as you might imagine, and for me, it wasn't that bad.
This is you and Mr. Depp at the Mordecai premiere?
Yes, it is.
You told this jury that on this occasion, Mr. Depp was kneeling on your back.
That's correct.
You would agree that there are no bruises or visible marks on your back in this picture?
Not that I could see. I do not know when James came over.
Okay, let's remind you. You were sitting here in this courtroom when Officer Melissa Sines testified by deposition about being called to the Eastern Columbia building on May 21st, 2016, right?
I saw her testimony, yes.
And you heard Officer Sines testify that she did not see any injuries on you that night, correct?
I heard her testify she did not consider this injured.
No. Miss Officer Sines testified that she met with you and she did not see any injuries on your face. Isn't that correct?
She did not consider this injury.
Miss Heard, my question is a bit more nuanced.
Huh? So is my answer.
All right.
On the third day of your direct testimony, you testified that this photograph reflected spilled wine in Penthouse 5 on May 21st, 2016, didn't you?
Again, I don't know because I'm looking at a partial picture of a floor, so unless you remove the metadata you've covered up, we could then tell. If you
I didn't cover it up, Your Honor.
Could we unredact
Your Honor
them so we could get context?
That's how it's in evidence.
That's how it's in evidence.
I don't understand.
Next question.
Well, the metadata next to it is so that
Ms.
to
Heard,
avoid this
Ms.
sort of
Heard,
confusion.
there is no question pending, and I would appreciate it if you wouldn't be making argument to the jury.
Sorry, I
It's
thought you had
inappropriate.
asked me about it.
No, I didn't ask you about anything.
I'm not going to period.